heard the OJ say start a love train. But I think we're so stressed out that we're probably going to need some help. I need to make a phone call. Yes. I need to speak to Walt Disney quick. Oh, hey, Walt. Yes, I was just at one of your parks. It's wonderful. Minnie and Mickey and everyone, everybody's there waiting. So how do we get our nation to de-stress and smile again? And to believe it's a small world again, so everybody doesn't feel that they're all alone. Okay, and so then, because you started with just one little small drone, and you made the difference. Okay, so you want me to, and then next time, okay. Oh, thank you so much, Disney. I'll do it. Yes, Dr. C-Love, Yes, I promise. I'll do it. You got my back. I feel you. Thanks. Welcome to another episode of Straight Up with Dr. C-Love. Indeed, I am Dr. C-Love. Let's get it started. So you just saw this video. This video is called Dr. C-Love Calls Walt Disney. There's so much going on in the world. But before I get back to that, let's go ahead and get this invocation real quick. Taken from Loyalty to Your Soul by Drs. Ron and Mary Holnick in their book with the subtitle, The Heart of Spiritual Psychology. Lord God of all creation, we ask just now that we be cleared, filled, surrounded, and protected with the clear light of the sacredness of spirit. We ask for the presence, protection, guidance, and love of the divine beings who work with each of us. And we ask that any imbalance that may be present in our consciousness be taken up into the highest realms of light and sound, where it may be transformed and used in service. We are so grateful for this opportunity to come together in service to our growth, upliftment, and learning as we assist ourselves and each other on our way home. Thy will be done. So be it. So be it. So yes, this video that I made. So I made this video. It was still in the 20 teens. You know what that is. And I just started making these little message clips, and it came to me, and I'm going to get into in the news. So this is kind of like a bridge between the two, because I just came upon this old video when I was looking at my Dr. C-Love TV channel on YouTube, and it was talking about Walt Disney, Disneyland. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't care about the politics of it. I remember what Disneyland and Disney World meant to me. And I remember this message where I know for certain Walt Disney spoke to me. Y'all say what you want to say. I'm just telling you that how do we de-stress as America? Everything is going on. We could all get into it. I don't know who I've been talking to lately who has not been overwhelmed with everything that they're trying to get done. And having time to play is so important. And that was the gift. I mean, and now I'm going to speak for myself personally, until teachers couldn't afford it. I mean, there's some people that can afford $300 a day tickets and all of this other stuff and $20, sodas. And I love it. Don't get me twisted. But I'm telling you that if you ask Walt Disney, he will say people over profit. Absolutely, unequivocally. Let them play, because there's all kind of ways to make money, but not at the expense of the freedom that comes from being able to actually have a day off. Disneyland, Six Flags, all of them, Universal Studios, Knoxbury Farm, on and on and on and on. We need you. You're so important to adults. We busy being parents and all of this stuff. And now we got to talk about 401k, when we're going to retire. Retire? I just got started. What do you mean? Straight up. I'm serious. Like, y'all need to, and I'm saying y'all, Mama, I know my mother's a retired English teacher, so I know very well. So if you ever hear me making a grammatical error, I'm doing it on purpose, because proper English is not the language that's talked on the streets, that's talks on the streets, you know. And interestingly enough, I teach, one of the things I have to do is, help people that are learning English for the first time. And of course, they're not going to speak grammatically correct with everything that they say. But if you're listening, did you get the message? And then at some point, as important as it may be for certain things, the greater message or the greater importance is, can you receive the communication? And that's how we're being taught to do it. I mean, ironically, I had to take a 20-hour class that I can't get paid for, because it's supposed to be my responsibility to be able to test these kids. So I'm very aware of what I am learning is costing me. But on to the next. So Walt Disney. And if you just joined us, I'm Dr. C Love. This is Straight Up. We're about to get in the news. And I'll play the video again at the end. And it's an exciting day. And this is the first time that I'm really working with themes. And the themes are dealing with grief, the apology, and grief and apology. And I'm going to tap it in several different ways. And the second way that I'm going to tap into it is to talk about what happened in my phone. Hold on. Oh yeah, in Monterey, in the Chinese New Year shooting. Let's take a minute. 10 lives gone, 10 souls transcended unexpectedly. Now, I want to share about this young man. His name was Brandon Say. It has a T on it, but he's 26 years old. You know what this young man did? He wrestled the gun away. This man had shot up all of this, all that. This man, without hesitation, put his life on the line and took the gun away. He hadn't gone through the police academy, sheriff's training, firefighter, nothing. It was just a person who realized that in this moment that he could do something important. And he seized the day. I mean, this man, Brandon Say, is a hero, not just a community hero. He's an American hero, because we are dealing with mass shootings, random mass shootings in this country like never before. And so I just want to send shouts out to him, because he didn't have to do it, but he did. And if you look at the ages of the people that died, he saved people, grandmama, granddaddy. He did it. He did it. He did it. Brandon, you go, boy. What a superhero you are. And you didn't need a cape. You used your heart. And we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Now, I'm not going to get into the issue of guns in this country because, well, you know why. And that's not what I'm here for in this moment. Everybody knows we need to talk about it. But when will we talk about it? And not politicians arguing from across the aisle. Let's have the conversation at the funeral home when we bury the next one. Let's see if the politicians show up there. Let's talk about it. Education, let me jump into it. I'm a teacher, and in LA Unified School District. And I was one of the teachers who actually worked the acceleration days. And I came across this article recently about the fact that it costs $611 per day to do those 2 days. If you total that up, it's $36 million. Interestingly enough, the teachers happen to be working towards equity or fairness in salaries. This is coming off the heels of minimum wage being doubled and teachers haven't gotten a boost. Teachers asked for 5%, 20%, excuse me, delete, deflect. The UTLA asked for 20%. And from what I understand, something is coming back in the spectrum of 5%. I don't even know how to take that. I've been in this, but this is my 24th year in LA Unified School District. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? We're not worth a 5% raise when we just double minimum. I'm trying to figure out what is the problem between making the correlation between education and everything else that's going on in our society. I mean, straight up, from the prisons to the substance abuse to the homelessness. Until this society puts teachers in their rightful position, the communities will continue to suffer. I love my athletes. I love my celebrities, from Serena to Shamar. I heard you finally met your little girl and your mother is dancing and celebrating. And she was like, yeah, baby, I left this realm, but the party don't stop. I'm still your ride and ride and ride. So Shamar and mother, congratulations, baby girl. So anyway, so it all goes together, but I mean, nobody wants to talk about that. Like, I don't know, for some reason, I don't get it. And I have to take a personal moment, and I'm going to add it to how part of this whole thing with the apology for the theme this evening came to be. I was the first chair of the Policy Advisory Council for the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, which was created in 1994-95 as a joint powers agreement between the County of Los Angeles and the City of Los Angeles. And they had agreed that we were going to confront this issue. And I was young, USC, straight A student, and I'm writing these grants, and I'm a part of the team, and I'm believing we can make a difference. And we get this money, like all this money, like the largest grant in LA history to do something about homelessness. We did it. We got it. We did that. We got that. And then what happened? The infrastructure of communication was so fragmented that even with every resource available, we could not come together. And I'm still paying my USC student loans to this day. I never got the degree from them. I mean, I did end up graduating with a master's in education with a 4.0, by the way, for those who understand what I just said. I did it 13 years later. But I did it. Love takes time to heal when it's hurting so very much. And I'm still paying my USC loans, or excuse me, let me correct that. I still have USC loans. But that plan that I wrote during that time, moving toward a continuum of care to break the cycle of homelessness in Los Angeles, I finally written in October 1997. I finally sent in the copyright. I sent it in December 6th, dusted it off the cabinet because I'm so excited about LA's new mayor. And I had already been throughout the state, seeing some of the work that's being done in San Francisco, conferences in Sacramento. So I'm committed. But I was exhausted. I was tired. And I was young. I know I still look young and everything, but I was young. I was just in my little 20s. Everybody else was 40s, 50s. And so they were like, little girl, you're just getting started. You don't know. But I did know. But nobody was listening to the point of action. They were listening enough to say, this girl got something to say, let her in the door. But as soon as I started saying things that might interrupt what was going on, like, hey, shouldn't we decentralize homeless services and put services in communities before they get so despondent that they need to go to Skid Row? I got receipts. I got tired and I walked away. I gave up. Sort of. I quit. Sort of. And in the ways that that's true, to the commissioners of the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority and all the people, the Community Development Department, all of you. And at that time, I was still using the name on my birth certificate, Karma Garnetta Henning. I apologize. I gave up trying to have that conversation. I walked out the door. I quit. And every time I pass a tent under a bridge, I have to live with the fact that maybe if I had not quit, I could have made a difference to those people that are on the street. I'm so sorry that I didn't persevere in that direction. It might have made a difference for you. Me and my thinking and seeing everything that was going on, I found the solution that I knew I could do something about. So I left homeless services and I went to the high schools. And I left in 1998. And I started at LA Unified School District in 1999. And I've been there ever since, breaking the cycle of homelessness, one child at a time. But I just wanted to share that because I want you to know I apologize. And every time I see a tent and 50 tents and 100 RVs, I feel for the people who've invested in their homes that don't even feel safe to step into their yard. I feel for the people that are in the tent. And I feel for the service providers who I know are overwhelmed. And this apology comes with action. I'm reporting for duty. The original visionary plan that I wrote in 1997 has been copywritten by the United States Copyright Office. It's not because see, there's an idea of let's get these people off the street. But part of that is just like, let's get them out of sight, out of mind. And then for some, it's like, let's get them out of sight and still let's help them. But unless you're breaking the cycle of homelessness, there will be no end to this. And you don't break the cycle of homelessness on the street. You break it in the classroom. What's the plan? I'm a visionary, and Dr. C Love is reporting for duty in Los Angeles and in every city where I can help. Love is here. And let me segue to Q&A with America's youth. I asked a bunch of American youth, whether they were born in this country or not, but what's on their mind. I asked them to ask some real questions and that I would answer. So it's funny, this first question. And this question, so Dr. C Love answers the youth. I'll call this section. How do you know when you've done all you can? Thank you for this question. And the answer is actually very simple. Depending on what you're referring to, I don't know the context, if that's life in itself or if it's a relationship. So I'll start with the big one. How do you know when you've done all you can? For life, you're dead. That's how you know you've done all you can. In relationships, it's a little bit more detailed. Not speaking to the youth, but in general, my coaching practice, I'm based in Inglewood. You have to talk about that. There's steps, there's levels, like peeling an onion. And sometimes people just make a decision, you know what? I don't even want to do this. But if it's a relationship and each person wants to save the relationship, then each person has to be willing to do their own work to heal so that the manifestation of their wellness can be experienced together. And each person can do their work on wellness and still find out that, hey, you know what? We're done. But they're going to leave in a better place. So that's that. This question, right here. This young person asked the question, do you think college is worth it? I'm 52 years old, and I'm still paying for student loans that are not actually paying me. Like the degree itself, I'm a teacher. So you see all of these people, whether they're working, as an athlete or a, different professions. I won't name them all because then that can get into other conversations. You know what I'm saying? It depends. And the answer to that question is it depends. If the career that you want needs you to have a degree and you understand the pathway to get there, then yes, college is worth it. If you don't have a commitment to anything in particular and you just kind of, get a bunch of student loans and you just want to go play and you're bumbling around and you don't really care what you want to do, you're still going to be in a better position because at least you'll be able to get jobs that have retirement and benefits and all of those things. So on that level, college is worth it. If you're somebody I'm going to say Steve Jobs, but he went to college for a little while before he dropped out. But if you're somebody like Kanye West, college dropout, but I mean, that's another conversation. But I mean, there are people who know what they want to do. And if you have a clear career path, you want to be a cosmetologist, you want to be an electrician, you want to live your life having fun doing plumbing, and you go to a career school, then college per se may not be for you, but you still have to go to school. Anybody that wants to really stabilize their life in something that is such that they don't have to look over their shoulder, they're going to have to go to some post-high school, post-secondary school, right? So, I mean, it's up to you. So what do you want to do? And I have this young person is asking me about Bitcoins and crypto. I'm gonna have to get some help from the community because I don't know how to answer that. So what's one way to make money at a young age? Investments, Bitcoins, crypto? I don't know. I don't know. But I know that it's a relevant question because it's in the media and the youth are paying attention. I know there's been a lot of bankruptcies and other kind of stuff going on in some of those arenas and all of those arenas. So we need that financial education from people in the profession. And I mean, people don't teach, I mean, balance and checkbooks. We don't even have life skills in school anymore. I don't know what year that the school board decided that life skills wasn't mandatory. I mean, I found it interesting for like high school students, life skills aren't mandatory. Okay. But what are we doing to make sure that they're financially prepared to contribute something back towards that 100,000 plus investment that we're making them? And I was looking at something, article, and it was saying that in LA Unified or LA or some district, it's like 23,000, 24,000 a year per student, or it could be, I don't know. And just look it up. But anyway, we're spending a lot of money. And we know over the course of their education, it used to be a decade or something ago, the last time I specifically looked it up, we were spending $100,000. I don't know why we would really do that just for people to end up depending on the social system for their whole lifetime. I think we can do better. I mean, from a business perspective. And this is not about Republican or Democrat. At some point, we got to get at the same table straight up. We all have to live here. We all deal with it. Republicans or whoever it is else that thinks they may be whatever, nobody's escaping these issues of homelessness. Can't even just go out and go to the concert downtown, you know, from your fine home in a chauffeur car. This all here. Everybody's dealing with it. So we all have to get at the same table. What does it mean when someone you used to talk to in that way stares at you? Well, sweetheart, it could mean a lot of things. You know, perhaps they're reflecting on, you know, what they lost. Perhaps they're considering opportunities. Maybe they're just happen to be looking in that direction and not at you at all. These are all things to think about. I wanted to share with the whole audience a project I did a decade ago, Love Quest. Love Quest. And I have a theme, and, you know, it says you can't even spell, and I, you know, just send it in. This is Dr. C Love, copyright, trademark, whatever you want to call it. You can't even spell heart without art. So I wanted to do a healing session that incorporated all the arts. Within Inglewood, I went to a local community business and was able to find a venue there. And we brought in, you know, for adults, you know, focused on women. It was for women. And one of the things was that so many times people are in relationships and people know the role they play in the relationship, but there's never the apology. So I was like, oh, you know what would be really great? If for the women to get an apology. So I went and found one of the most phenomenal actors, somebody who has a physical representation of so many things to do this scene. And the scene was called The Apology, The Release, and The Apology, in that order. Like somebody willing to say, look, I'm hurt, I'm disappointed, I don't get it. And I just wish that I could heal. And then the other person to, you know, come in and add the dynamic that life is not a single dimension. life is multidimensional and other people are having experiences at the same time we're having experiences. So if we're going to come together, there has to be a respect for that. And in listening, having this actor present to this person seeking to heal an apology. And it's a beautiful moment. I'm going to share it at the end of this video, or this time together with Straight Up with Dr. C Love. You'll get a chance to see it in its entirety. And then I will replay for those who joined us late, this Dr. C Love Calls Walt Disney, because I don't want us to forget that we can and we have a urgency of need, the urgency of now, to be the difference, like the Monterey hero, 26-year-old Brandon Say. Brandon Say, you did that. You risked your life, put it in front of everybody, no certification, certificate, badge, or nothing. You just saw something good need to be done. You jumped in and did it. Brandon. Yes, you are an absolute hero. And so before I get to the rest of it, I've got something I want to read to you. You know, I read. I'm a teacher. I've been collecting books since I was 6 years old, since I saw Roots, and I found out they were killing my ancestors just for reading and writing. I've been collecting books since I was 6 years old. But this book is called Begin It Now. You Have a Purpose by Susan Hayward. And it's in her sequel, A Guide for the Advanced Soul. And this one is a challenge to all of us, which is why I'm even making this show, doing this show to add my voice to the conversation. I want a seat at the table. This is Dr. C Love. Where's my seat at the table? I have been preparing. I've been on the streets. I'm in the schools and a whole lot of other places too. I haven't shown you all that picture yet, but at 17, I was at the Hollywood Bowl, my graduating class. I was the one that was chosen to represent the group, and the theme was and is always, once we followed, now we lead. And that goes back to what I was sharing about what Kobe Bryant said the other day about process. He's like, as soon as he sees something new, he said he don't care about being embarrassed, looking whatever. He knows that once he learns something, he's going to practice it, look whatever. But at the end of the day, he's going to have a new skill in his arsenal. And that's more important to him than what anybody thinks, if it's this or that. And how much better would the world be if we could take that lesson in Mamba mentality from Kobe? So this from Susan Hayward in Begin It Now. Here's the message. And then it's going to go into the other video, the release and the apology, and then into a replay of Dr. C Love Calls Walt Disney. This quote says, there's two of them. Stop sitting there with your hands folded, looking on, doing nothing. Get into action and live this full and glorious life now. You have to do it. Eileen Caddy. And here's one more. Much is said in regard to building castles in the air, and one who is given this building is not always looked upon with favor. But castles in the air are always necessary before we can have castles on the ground, before we can have castles in which to live. The trouble with the one who gives himself to building castles in the air is not that he builds them in the air, but that he does not go farther and actualize in life, in character, in material form, the castles he thus builds. He does a part of the work, a very necessary part, but another equally necessary part remains undone. Thank you, Ralph Waldo Brine. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Eileen, for that message to begin it now. So I want you to know I'm so excited you're here. Straight up. We got to do this. So Dr. C Love, I am on social media. You see how to spell my name. On that name, I am on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on TikTok, even though I haven't really posted there lately. I'll be doing that again. Love is everywhere. So let's play and create a better day. Straight up. Next up, this actor, Jermaine J. Cox L. He's on the grind. Wonderful soul. Amazing talent. Amazing talent. So if you're a director, you're out there from Tyler Perry to everybody producing productions. Jermaine J. Cox L. He did that. And I thank you. I just came with a vision. And he was like, love, I got you. I was like, we ladies, we need an apology. Can you help? And so you'll see, I hope you like it. And find a way to comment somewhere, share it. If I know, share it on your social media, tag me, or look it up or something. I'll do links. I don't know. Still learning this game, but I thank you. And Walt Disney, your vision for families being able to de-stress was wonderful. And yes, indeed, it has stood the test of time. We just need to be able to afford to go play. Disneyland, Disney World, and all of these places, Universal Studios, is not just for the wealthy. It's for everyone. It's part of the American dream. Teachers, we can't afford to go unless we do super planning. I know teachers who have annual passes, who put up a little money every month so that they can afford to get one annual pass. Who are they going with? But they want to go because that's nostalgic for them. But who can go with them? You know, you can do some days where you just let people apply. I'm not against making money. I want to make money, except that I chose to be a public school teacher. And I just wish one of these athletes would just be like, you know what? You got a student loan, teacher? Oh, I got you. I don't even know who else to thank, but let me thank a teacher. Thank a teacher. Pay off the teacher's student loan. It's just a thought. It's not a request. I'm just saying that's something somebody could do if they wanted to. But in the end, we are going to win because we won't quit. We're going to do it now. We're going to untie our hands and we're going to get to work. But next up, get ready, get ready, get ready. This is deep. It's an apology. It's two grown people talking about a relationship. There are no words that a young person can't hear. You know, back in the day, how adults used to talk and they would say some things. If you were older, certain things you understand. It's like that. And it's definitely educational in its intent. Once again, you cannot spell heart without art. If we're going to crack ourselves open as individuals, as communities, we need the arts. We need the arts. I am an English teacher, and I am telling you, less English classes and more arts, even though that's English language arts, and you can mix some of that in. School, public school has to be for every soul that comes through the door. See you on the next show. Here is the release and the apology. Thank you for joining. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. can still remember the day I met him. And I thought I was so cool. But when he walked into the room, I just couldn't even breathe. My heart skipped a beat, and he hadn't even said a word. And I was like, I just stood there kind of with this little inner tremble. And he started walking towards me, and I was kind of like, I didn't know if I was like, oh God, please don't let him talk to me, or God, please let him be the one and talk to me. Anyway, next thing I know, we were at breakfast. We were sitting at the table, but the conversation was so deep. I knew he was the man for me. And honestly, he got in between. But not like before. Because I gave him more than I ever knew I could give. I gave him everything I had. Everything I had. But then he was gone. And I was like, didn't he feel what I felt? Didn't he see what I saw? And now he's coming back again. Okay, come here, baby. You know I love you. Oh. But he's gone again. You know, when I just look at me and I want us to be so much more than we are, but I have no control over that. And I can't change the past. But I just wish we could be more to each other. And I wish he hadn't made the promises that he made if he wasn't going to keep them. Because I gave him all of my lovely presents, and I can't get them back. But I was just thinking, the least he can do is apologize.
I never meant to hurt anybody. I was just having fun. I mean, I'm a man and I have desires, and I was just fulfilling them. I mean, we grown, right? So we understand what I'm talking about. You know, when two grown people look at each other and they look in each other's eyes, there's something changing. Yeah, like the smile, it's not just a smile anymore. It's something different. You know, I always talked to everybody, and I made sure that we had an understanding. I mean, I told them I wasn't looking for no relationship. No, I'm not really on that right now. I'm trying to do me, so get your emotions all caught up in all that. And then all I heard was, me get my emotions caught up, it's gonna be you. Yeah, right. And every time, something was different. And then I had to start hearing, how come you're not here when I call you? Why you not answering my call? And how come you don't call me no more? I told you we were just having fun. Didn't you understand that? I'm serious. See, the problem is that a lot of women think they can change me. See, I'm going to be that one that's going to make him get right. Get right. See, what people have to start understanding is that each individual has to change themselves. Straight up. No one, nobody else. It doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside. So we have to stop trying to change each other. I mean, my mother, she had me when she was real young. She was 16. So y'all know what happened when a mom had a baby at 16. That's not her baby, that's grandma's baby. So, yeah, I'm a grandma's boy. He laughing at me, it ain't funny. Yeah, I admit it. I love my mom. She did everything for me. My mom, My mother, she wasn't around much. But you know, it was okay because I had my grandma. I think she used to try to make up for my mom not being there. She would do extra stuff for me, even though she had 8 children of her own. I love her for that. My mom would come get me sometimes. You know, she would take me with her, but she would always have somebody I didn't know, a new man that was with her. And I didn't understand it. Where was my dad? Who was he? And why am I going to these people's house I don't know? And you're leaving with him. All I wanted to do was spend time with my mama. Is it wrong for an 8-year-old to want his mom to just say, I love you, son? Is it wrong for an 8-year-old to just want to be with his mom and her not be with anybody else? I just wanted her attention. She gave it to everybody else but me. When she met my brother's dad, it was as if she forgot about me totally. She didn't pick me up that much anymore. And when she did, it was go upstairs to the room. And when she had my 2 little brothers, we really grew apart then because she totally forgot about me. Mom, I'm your firstborn. Remember? I was here before all of you. How could you forget about me? And then when he would put his hands on you and you stayed. I couldn't understand. Why would you stay with somebody that hurt you? And he yelled at you. And I remember even trying to help you. And you yelled at me as if I did something wrong. I just didn't want nobody hurting my mom. You know, when you yelled at me, that was the first time in my life I felt rejection. Do you know what it's like for an 8-year-old to feel rejection from his mother? You were supposed to teach me the things, how to trust, how to love. You taught me the opposite. You were the first one to break my heart. How am I going to live now? I don't know what it means to love. Who taught me that? You did. But you know what? I forgive you because you didn't know no better. Please don't blame me for what you did. You know, I never thought that I could love someone, a woman, because I didn't know what that feeling felt like. People talk about falling in love and you get this idea of what it is. Well, I don't know what that is. Because the only love I knew from my mom was to other people. See, when we are made, God made man, and then he made woman from his rib. What does that mean? It means she was made in pure love. Because that's where your heart is at. See, he made man, and then he perfected the world when he made woman. There's nothing like a passionate woman. I mean, I love women. I love being in their presence, everything about you. Their energy, their smell, intellect. I never thought I would be able to love a woman. Until I met you. And through God and you, I know what it means to love now. When I'm around you, my hands start sweating. And I get that funny feeling in my stomach. I don't know, like butterflies or something. And now I know that those things are possible. But we have to release them. We can't hold on to the things that got us thinking out the thought. I didn't know no better. But now that I know better, I'm gonna do better. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart for ever hurting you. For ever misleading you, all the disrespect, the lack of trust, not letting you into my heart. I didn't know how. So now I just ask that you would see it inside yourself. To be able to forgive me. Sarah.
Train, start a love train. Oh, good afternoon, beautiful America. I just heard the OJ say start a love train. But I think we're so stressed out that we're probably gonna need some help. I need to make a phone call. Yes. I need to speak to Walt Disney quick. Oh, hey, Walt. Yes, I was just at one of your parks. It's wonderful. Minnie and Mickey and everyone, everybody's there waiting. So how do we get our nation to de-stress and smile again? And to believe it's a small world again, so everybody doesn't feel that they're all alone. Okay, and so then, because you know, you started with just one little small drum, and you made the difference. Okay, so you want me to, and then next time, okay. Oh, thank you so much, Disney. I'll do it. Yes, Dr. C-Love, Yes, I promise. I'll do it.
You got my back. I feel you. Thanks.